这里是早上7点钟的 Moose Jaw Main Street， 就主街啊。那么今天上午的话呢，海叔要去这里见2位非常重要的朋友啊。好，请跟海叔一起来。今天海叔要去采访的是 Moose Jaw 商会负责这个 RNIP， 也就是偏远地区和北部地区移民项目的具体负责人。那么这个项目的话呢，Moose Jaw 是萨省唯一一个参与的小镇。海叔到的比较早，商会的停车场1台车子还没有。远处的 Galaxy 是全加拿大连锁的电影院。这个小镇的话呢，看样子配套的娱乐设施还是齐备的。那么周边呢，就是这个普通的这个居民区了。不过可以看出来呢，这是靠近市中心，用地比较集约的这个居民区，所以它有个后巷街，这跟温哥华有点像。这里就是 Moose Jaw 商会内部的办公区域。接下来呢，海叔要在这里采访 RNIP， 中国人呢把它通俗的称之为是小镇移民项目的具体负责人了。Hello, Jaden. Nice to meet you. Let me introduce me first. My name is Harry. Hello, Jordan. So you're the officer who are in charge of RNIP, right?
Correct. Yeah, I'm the RNIP coordinator for Moose Jaw and area.
Yeah, I did some research, and I realized that in Moose Jaw, RNIP, this program has a very detailed point system.
Yep. So the pilot is designed to attract newcomers to more rural communities like Moose Jaw. We're not a huge city, right? There's about 37,000 people here, and it's a criteria points-based system. Where applicants apply to me through the program, and then their applications are reviewed based on a set of criteria that's been laid out. Yeah.
May I ask, what's the key for applicant to apply for the RNIP in Moose Jaw?
Important things like definitely are having relevant work experience. They need to find a qualified job offer from an employer within the community who is registered to the program. So that's, the first step, and that's really key. And then they need to have qualified work experience to be eligible for that job offer. You also need to prove your education. And your language proficiency, among other things. Also really important to the program is establishing a case that you intend to reside here in our community long term.
Yeah, long-term living in Moose Jaw is key.
Correct, yeah.
Hi, Jordan. May I ask a question? What kind of occupations do you prefer or recommended for the future applicants?
So we're encouraging applicants of all professions to try and seek out job offers in the Moose Jaw and area. The program is still expanding to a large variety of employers, and we're looking to expand our priority occupations to cover a more vast variety of industries and professions. So we will be expanding our priority occupations, and we really want people of all industries. There's a labor market shortage in Saskatchewan and Moose Jaw area in many specific types of jobs, and so we don't want anyone to feel like they shouldn't be trying to find jobs within our community to use the program.
There were 2 big meat process factories here.
Yeah.
Any opportunity in this area? This sector, meat process?
Definitely, they're big companies, and there's plenty of job openings there, and they do utilize the program.
But regularly, people who work in these factories may not have
very high English proficiency or education background?
Yeah, it's definitely, you don't need to have a master's degree by any sense of the term, and the language requirement for the Canadian language benchmark is, I think, a 4 for those job positions, so it's not very high.
But in terms of point system, I think they wanted to get a higher points.
Also key is we have set out what it's called priority occupations, so certain knock codes for certain jobs. So a knock code is a way of designating the job position, classifying it. Will score applicants more points in their submission for application.
Yeah, I think it's a good system, very fair to everyone.
It's definitely, yeah, we're looking to find the best fit for the community, but it's certainly easier to qualify than some of the other pathways that have typically been available.
Any privilege or designated pathway for the students who study in the Saskatchewan Polytechnic? Yes. Yeah.
So Sask Polytech, I mean, I think they're projecting 500 international students next year for enrollment,
wow,
which is a lot. And students definitely utilize the RNIP. Given that they're already here in the community, it's a good tie to establish that for retention here. And they typically do quite well with their applications through the RNIP program.
So I think it will be an advantage. I mean, in terms of RNIP, it's a good advantage for the students who study in Saskatchewan Polytechnic.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. There's definitely, the program considers the designated learning institutions in the communities that are part of the pilot, and even if you do a 2-year study program, you're exempt from work experience requirements.
Wow.
So that's another point. It's got to be a 2-year program, but
as a international student graduated from Saskatchewan Polytechnic, as he or she be exempt from work experience or from the employer or the both?
They would be exempt from the work experience requirement if they've completed a full 2-year diploma or certificate. So a 1-year program does not exempt them, or 2 1-year programs does not exempt them. It's got to be a full 2-year.
Got it. So they still need an employer.
Yeah, the student would still, in most cases, right, when it's not a 2-year program, they've still got to find a qualified job offer, have an employer to work with, and then 1,560 hours of related work experience in the period of 3 years before their application is what's required. So some students will work part-time during their studies and then acquire a work permit, transition to full-time work, gain their work experience that way. Some students will work part-time here and combine it with work experience that's relevant from back in their home country, right, in order to meet that eligibility requirement.
Oh, that's fantastic. There's a polytechnic here. They will bring definitely a lot of international students.
They do, yeah. It's definitely popular for that, and growing more so that way.
May I ask, how many applicants you have supported annually?
Last year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we issued about 77 recommendations. And then our program actually went on pause for the first 4.5 months of this year. But since, I think we've issued 34 already in 6 weeks or so.
Wow, in 6 weeks?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So there's definitely been more engagement, more people know about it, more awareness of the program, more people utilizing it, and I would expect it to grow exponentially from here. We hope that it would become some sort of permanent pathway. Right now it's still in the pilot stage.
Oh, yeah.
The pilot's been extended either once or twice already, and it is ending in February of next year, but we should have some sort of news about either an extension or another pilot type of program, or what we're hoping for is that it becomes a permanent pathway in some form or another.
May I ask, are there many Chinese applicants?
There are several Chinese applicants.
Several.
Definitely a lot of Chinese nationals who utilize the RNIP. And there's a growing Chinese population here in Moose Jaw. It's
Yes.
definitely apparent. And
They bring this news to more and more Chinese people. And may I ask, what do you, in which aspects do you think they should enhance? I see there's many criteria in the point system. In which part is the weakness of Chinese?
you know, a lot of the times our Chinese applicants have pretty strong applications, to be honest. Try and establish a tie to the community, you know, meet someone from here who can maybe refer you to an employer who can offer you a job with that you have qualified work experience for, and just yeah, being all up to date on your language proficiency exams and education credential assessment tests and things like that, and just be prepared to have to submit those documents.
Maybe there's not enough Chinese applicants, so it's not so impressive. Anyway, thank you. You know, I think for Chinese applicants, the main challenge is that how to prove they have intention to live here in long term. I know that, you know, it is. I know some people, they do have intention to live in a small town, but they're flooded by others.
Yeah, for sure. Educate yourself, you know, research about Moose Jaw, learn things, you know, about the cost of living here, or anything else that's, you know, you think might display that you've done some work to at least, you know, show that you have interest in the community. It is a challenge, right? Intent to reside, but yeah, just be as prepared as you can, and maybe take an extra step or two to just prove your interest and make the best case for yourself that you can make.
As I see, in the old criteria, there's no pathway for business owner to apply for RNIP, am I right?
Correct. The RNIP is more of a community-based program as opposed to, you know, entrepreneurial. You can't be self-employed to use the RNIP.
You must be a worker.
Correct. Yeah.
Finder or employer, I think will be the main challenge for the applicants.
It's a big challenge for sure. Yeah, and you know, I hope as we grow the program here and grow our employer base, increase engagement, and just get more employers on board, it'll be easier to find a job offer.
Do you have any recommendation for these applicants, potential applicants? What will be the best way for them to reach out to an employer?
Check the job portals for around the area. So there's the Canada Job Bank, saskjobs.ca is a huge one around here. Other sites like indeed.com, monster.ca I think is another one, but the online job portals are definitely where you want to be looking.
Yeah, that's good. You have provided so many online platforms. That's good. And they're better to visit Moose Jaw firstly. Do you recommend them to study firstly in the Saskatchewan Polytechnic?
It's definitely beneficial if they're here, physically at the time of their application. So if it is an option to come study at SAS Polytech and get here that way first, it could definitely be beneficial, yeah.
Hello, Jordan. Thanks for your introduction. And may I ask, is the interview a key part of the RNIP?
I do conduct an interview with each applicant, and it is to help prove, just to get to know the applicant a little bit more, see what they know about the community and what they have to say about their work experience and their job offer. It's rather informal, but there is an interview completed with each application.
Is the interview physically or it can be arranged online?
Yeah, we conduct the interviews remotely, generally using the free Zoom application.
Oh, so it can be remotely, online.
Yes, yes, for sure.
Thank you, Jordan.
You're welcome.
Yeah. 结束了采访，海叔走出了商会，挨着商会的呢，好像是一个军事建筑。海叔的微信号是 2study99，欢迎大家加海叔微信，同时记得关注海叔的频道，点赞、留言、转发给有需要的朋友，谢谢大家。